Hi everyone, I'm Jenica. Welcome to my YouTube station. Today I'd like to talk about how we build chords. And I have our scale up here on the piano so we can see easily. We can show it on the guitar as well. And building chords. So C is here. That is a C note, the one on the bottom. We call that the root. And building chords takes every other note. C, E, G. Well, that's a C. Every good boy deserves fudge. That's how we read this staff. And there's a treble clef. So C, E, G. Taking every other one, do, mi, so. We put them all together. And they're stacked on top of one another. And that gives me a major chord. And I'm going to do that, as I have, for each one of these. As you'll notice, I've put little Roman numerals underneath. That's a 1, that's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why they do it in Roman numerals, but they do, and that's what you learn when you go to music school. You're going to do everything in Roman numerals. So when I make a chord, if I have a do, mi, so, that's a major chord. We've talked about the 3 primary chords, major, minor, and dominant 7th chord. When I make a minor chord, it's the 3rd one that changes, and it flattens C, E flat, G. So, and it would sound like, and forgive me, music, vocal people, do, ma, so. So it would be lowered sound, and it gives us what we call a minor chord. Dominant 7th chords, well, they have that 7th note in them. So, and they land here on the 5th degree. We're going to talk about those. Maybe we won't talk about them today, but let's just go back to key signatures for a second. If you knew your key signatures, and you knew that C had no sharps or flats, C, E, G, there would be nothing altered in that scale. So it would sound like do, mi, so. But if I go to D, how many sharps are in the key of D? If you count on your fingers, remember the mnemonic, Father Charles goes down and ends battle. And I'm going to start at goes to figure it out. Goes down. There are 2 sharps in the key of D, and they are F and C, Father Charles. I have an F note here. But that F doesn't have a little sharp beside it. It's an F natural. So D, F, A, if it was an F sharp, it would sound like a major chord, but because it's an F natural, it's lowered by a half step, and that gives me a minor chord. I'm going to grab my guitar, but don't go away, so I can show you this on the guitar. So I have a D chord. There's the F sharp, that note right there. If I want to make a D minor chord, my finger goes to F, and then I've got... Can you hear the difference between there's a happy major chord and there's my minor chord? So this second chord is a naturally occurring minor chord in any major key, and there are 12 of them that we talked about. The same thing's going to happen to the E. E has 4 sharps in it, goes down and ends. Father Charles goes down. So that G note right there is lowered. So it's a naturally occurring minor chord. And we haven't really got to flats a lot, but F has a B flat in it, but there's no B flat in that chord anywhere. So that is just a naturally occurring major chord. G as a triad is a major chord. We're going to talk about the dominant chords later. A is a naturally occurring minor chord because C would typically be sharp. A, C, E, it would be C sharp. It would sound like this if it was a C sharp, because that is the C sharp. If it's a minor chord, it falls. And B is called a diminished chord, and it means that the 3rd of the chord is lowered as well as the 5th, and it sounds like this. So if I put all those chords together, they sound like this. This is major scale harmony, and fairly critical for you guitar and ukulele players to sort of grasp. I know that was a lot of information, especially if you're really just beginning. But hang tight and play along. We've got a C chord. We've got a D minor chord. We've got an E minor chord. We've got an F chord. We've got a G. We've got A minor. We've got B diminished. It's a snappy chord. I like it. And then we go back to a C. So that's called major scale harmony. All 12 keys, all 12 major keys harmonize the same way. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. That fifth one is the only one that can change if I add another note, which happens to be the seventh one there. And we'll talk about dominant chords at a different time. Right now, I just want you to go and pick up your instrument and play through the major scale harmony in the key of C. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and back to C again. Okay, I hope that helped you out, and I'll see you next time.